What's up, YouTube? This is Two Raw 4 TV. So, right here, you have two bona fide assholes, all right? However, one of them treats the media with total disregard and with true enmity. The other one has the common sense and, the innovation to use the media as a weapon for his personal benefit. We have to remember 2010, 2011, into 2012, LeBron James was public enemy number one when it came to mainstream media. So much so that his status as the best player in the NBA or top two or three was in question after that terrible finals performance. But since then, LeBron, or in this instance, LeNixon, has become the consummate politician who has put in place throughout the mainstream media, sports media, personalities, and has used his influence to implant personalities throughout Fox Sports and into ESPN to be sycophants for him, to sing his praises, to push the cult of personality that permeates the sports culture to the point where people just see this guy as pretty much almost as a demigod. LeBron in that instance is a genius. Russell Westbrook has failed in that accord because he's just not that. He's not savvy. He's just not that savvy. Okay. Now, having said all of that about LeBron James, the reality is, I want someone to explain something to me. Last year, Russell Westbrook with the Washington Wizards averaged a triple double for the fourth time in his career, I believe it was the fourth time and the fourth time in 5 years. And what I don't understand is last year the criticism was, well, what does it matter if you're putting up big numbers on a losing team? Last year the Wizards started off horribly, horribly. Russell Westbrook was playing horribly. Remember, they had the worst record in the NBA. But then Russell Westbrook, in the second half of the season, turned it on, and his level of play was in direct correlation to the team starting to win. Okay? Now, even though that was supposedly Bradley Beal's team, people put the responsibility of taking the team to the playoffs on Russell Westbrook's shoulders. Fine. He was the player of the month. I believe it was it March or April of last year? I can't remember which one it was now. But I remember his numbers were like 23 points, something like 13 rebounds, 16 assists. And the Wizards finished 34 and 38. Now, in any other situation, they wouldn't have made the playoffs, but they finished the 10th seed, and they earned themselves the 8th seed, although ultimately they lost in 5 games in the first round to the Sixers. But the thing we always heard was, it doesn't matter he's putting up these numbers, these triple doubles, because the team isn't winning. So I ask you this, ladies and gentlemen. Why does it matter when LeBron James is putting up numbers and the Lakers have an even worse record percentage wise? The Lakers are 31 and 42. They're on pace to probably go, 35 and 47, 34 and 48. But somehow LeBron leading the league in scoring potentially is a big deal. His sycophants, his minions, his extreme fanboys All of a sudden saying like the scoring title means more than winning. All of this nonsense, which is just terrible for the sport of basketball. Now all of a sudden, individual accolades mean something. It means something when you lose. I'm trying to figure out how this makes sense, you know. And on top of that, Bradley Beal averaging 30 last year. Most people say they don't mean shit because they're losing. Okay, any other scoring champion on a team that was losing, it took away the luster. Bernard King with the New York Knicks, even though when he got hurt, they had a better record, but ultimately Bernard King's Knicks went 24-58, even though he didn't play in 27 games that year. And he didn't have an Anthony Davis or Russell Westbrook, but that was some of the luster. You had guys like World B. Free averaging 30 points on the San Diego Clippers, and they were like what, 40 and 42, 39 and 43. You know what I'm saying? Um, Pete Maravich was averaging 31 points a game on a Utah Jazz team that was like 36 and 46. Nobody cared because they weren't winning. Most of those players were miserable, unhappy because even though they were putting up a lot of points, the team kept fucking losing. Jerry West was scoring his ass off, 46 and a half points in a series, the playoffs, the most ever in history, winning a scoring title, averaging 27, 30, 31 points. But his team kept losing in the finals, and he was miserable. The finals. But this guy gets to go on national television and say, I'm having the time of my life losing. And not a shade, not a raised eyebrow, nothing. I get home and I take all my problems away with me and I just enjoy my family. Oh, LeBron, that's so sweet. Russell Westbrook says the same fucking thing. He doesn't even fit to be a Laker. He's a disgrace. I know some people say, well, LeBron won a championship. Uh, yeah, he did with the Miami Heat, with the Cavaliers, and nobody gives a fuck about that bubble ring. At the end of the day, he hasn't done enough for him to be doing the shit he's doing as a Laker. If he was Kobe, okay, you can get a pass with him. And even when Kobe, when he won 5 titles with the Lakers, right? Even Kobe was still being criticized by some of these clowns in the media for being a shot jacker. So I don't even want to hear that shit. What it is a lot of you motherfuckers are hypocrites. You're LeBron dick licks, even in the media, and I'm sick of you motherfuckers. Okay, I'm sick of you. You're fucking hypocrites. Call it like it is. Y'all said Russell Westbrook was a stat padding loser. Fine, I accept that. Say the same shit for LeBron James. Don't pick and choose who you want to fucking sully and who you want to give passes to.